Hello, it's me, Lore Seeker, although you might also know me as Uncle Frank. Hello, and surprise if you didn't know for some reason. Hey there. Here on the Lore Seeker channel, I have tended to be focused on Magic the Gathering lore and fictional narratives in general. Whereas over on the Uncle Frank channel, Hobbies with Frank, I tend to be more focused on uh, gaming and collectibles as a whole, looking at new releases, talking about dead card games, and different things I enjoy, whether it be video games, board games, etc. And it's about time I made this video, even though it's one I never really thought I'd make. At the very least, when I first started the Lore Seeker channel, I thought this kind of video would never be made. You see, it's time that I shelve Lore Seeker as a project and move on to other things. Here's the thing. Lore Seeker as a channel, I have several reasons for wanting to stay with it, but many more reasons for wanting to shelve it and move on. The biggest reason is simply I am not enjoying the work that I am producing for the channel in general. And there's a few layers to that statement. You see, for the longest time, especially if you are familiar with me as a person, then you would know that some of my videos, even ones that are short and relatively simple to make, or at least seem relatively simple to make, they can take a long time, have some real effort put into them, with the longer videos taking serious amounts of time and effort to create. And, you know, some videos I put out, they can have 40 plus hours put into them to ultimately make a product that I am rarely satisfied with in terms of presentation, and also not happy with just because of how it makes me feel as someone connected to Magic the Gathering as a product. It's not exactly a big secret that as a fan of Magic the Gathering, I'm not very happy with the current state of the game. And I find it that when I'm talking about the game from a fan's perspective, from the viewpoint of someone who wants to get the most enjoyment out of playing the game or interacting with the lore, I find that it's very easy for me to get really negative quickly and really upset quickly, not just with the state of the lore, but with how Wizards of the Coast interacts with its fans, or what kind of releases they choose to put out there. This results in a situation where I will procrastinate for sometimes months to make a video, where I'm always telling myself that just get it out there, it might be good, you might enjoy it. You know, focus on the parts of the lore you enjoy, focus on what makes you happy. And even then, even when I'm telling myself to just work with what I enjoy about Magic, I'm always finding it really easy to slip into, yeah, and it could still be this way, and it's not, and I'm not happy with it. So even when I'm covering stories that I ostensibly really enjoy, like the original Tarkir story, or the original Kamigawa story, Lorwyn, or the old Harper Prism books, I still find myself facing the reality that Magic as a game and Magic as an IP is just not something I derive any joy from currently, regardless of my attachment to what it used to be. And this is something that's been really apparent, I think, to anyone keeping an eye on the channel for the last 3 years, maybe. But for me, it's really only started to hit home after I started making the Uncle Frank channel, and really taking a step back from Magic the Gathering in general, and stopped looking at the game from a fan's perspective and started making videos from the buyer, seller, store perspective. Because as opposed to looking at the game as a fan of Magic the IP, I find that it's very easy to remain even-tempered and neutral and fair about where the game is, what the releases are, etc., if I'm focusing on it purely from the collector perspective or the store perspective. And in general, the fact that I am able to kind of sit back and be a bit more even jolly when looking at Magic the Gathering from that angle. It took a bit of a while to digest, but I found that in general I'm enjoying the Hobbies with Frank content way more. Frank's Hobbies content is far more enjoyable for me to make for a few reasons. Again, besides the fact that it's not all about a game that I'm just angry about. Because even on the Frank's Hobbies channel, I do talk about some negative things there. It's just not negative things that make me angry. But there's also the fact that I can make content there without feeling like I've poured my heart and soul into hours and hours and hours of work just to get something I'm not satisfied with. The biggest difference, I think, and yeah, you can see this as kind of a lazy thing if you want to. I kind of see it as a lazy thing. But on the Lore Seeker channel, I can pump 10, 20, 30, 40 hours into a video, and it comes out and gets a few hundred views, or, some get 1,000 plus views, whatever. It is what it is. But regardless of how many views it gets, I'm never really satisfied with the product. I always think I could have done better, or this was a topic I just wasn't happy to cover, or it took me too long to do. Regardless, Whereas with the Uncle Frank channel, I can sit down like this, unscripted, no research needed beyond making sure I remember the names and dates for certain topics, and just talk and put out a nice video where I get to put my unfiltered opinion out to an audience, and whether they enjoy that opinion or not, I'm happy just putting myself in front of the camera and getting whatever topic I want to cover off my chest. And that, I think, does lead to a more enjoyable experience overall for me as a creator, as opposed to mindlessly, it seems, working on content that I'm never really satisfied with. And I have tried finding different angles with Lore Seeker to make content that I personally enjoy, but it rarely results in a satisfying end product. I did try doing book reviews because I did want to do book reviews for a long time on the channel, but I had a stumbling block there where I just ended up feeling like doing the book review felt like a regular lore video that just happened to take a month to do. I tried all kinds of memes and such, and I never really felt like the memes were what I wanted to put on the channel. So it just really felt that no matter what I tried, I was never personally satisfied with what I ended up putting out there for you guys to watch. And I know that there are people out there who genuinely enjoy some of what I do. I get comments from you guys all the time, and some of you guys come over to hang out on the Discord with me. By the way, to everybody who shows up to the Discord just to chat for a few minutes a day, I love you guys. You guys are super chill. I love you guys so much. But really, all I'm gonna say here is that for now, at the very least for the foreseeable future, I have no more plans to put any content out on Lore Seeker. Not lore videos, not flavor text of the day, and not angry rants at 11:30 at night screaming about how Wizards of the Coast is a terrible company. It's just all stuff that I'm personally choosing to take a step back from and avoid for the foreseeable future. I don't think this is the end of the channel, because I don't plan on deleting any of my older videos. I plan on leaving all that stuff up there for anyone to still view and enjoy or criticize, because it's stuff I did put out there, and regardless of the reason, I don't think removal of content is ever a great idea, unless like something really egregious popped up at some point that I just forgot about. But it is what it is. What does this mean going forward? Well, it means that I do still plan on covering the lore at some point over on Frank's Hobbies, but in a more detached sense, rather than doing scripted videos that are heavily edited and can take weeks or months to produce. I'd like to cover just things like book reviews, like what I was doing here, but just in a more general sense. Here's the story, here's what I liked about it, etc., etc. Yeah, that's really kind of what I'm here to tell you guys about. if I continue doing the shorts that you guys enjoy, like flavor text of the day, that's going to go over to the Frank's Hobbies channel. I haven't decided if I really want to continue doing that on Frank's Hobbies or not, because I'd always felt really tied to Lore Seeker as a concept, but I don't know, I'm kind of up in the air about it. You guys let me know if you'd like to see those continue over on that channel. And then I suppose the final thing I want to address in this video here before I say goodbye for now is for the patrons, the guys who have been very patiently supporting me for quite a few years now. I'm going to leave it up to you whether or not the Patreon stays open. Initially, I had planned to just close it, but a friend of mine had said, let it be their decision. So after this video goes live over on the Patreon page, I'm going to leave a post for you guys to let me know what your thoughts are. If you guys do want the Patreon to continue, then what I will do for you is just use the Patreon as a more general behind-the-scenes here in the garage kind of update, like what I was doing with those shorter videos for a while, giving you guys the quick news updates. But rather than just saying, hey, I'm still alive, it would be, here's what I'm working on this week, and things of that nature. So you guys let me know what you'd like to see, if you'd like to keep going, or if you're fine with me ending it. I'm cool with whatever you guys decide. As for the rest of you, my general audience, thank you sincerely for sticking around for this long. I understand it's not always been a pleasant road, but I am genuinely happy that you've joined me on that road for this long. I don't know if this is the end of Lore Seeker for good, but at the very least, it is the end of Lore Seeker for now. If you see the robot again, then I hope he is in a genuinely happier place in his life. Thanks for your attention, and I will see you over on Frank's Hobbies. Ciao.